9 is 9, 2 9 are 80, 3 9 are 27, 4 9 are 36, 5 9 are 45, 6 9 are 54, 7 9 are 63, 8 9 are 72, 9 9 are 81, 10 9 are 90, 9 12 are 108.
Let's go.
1 11 is 11.
Yes.
2 11 are 22.
Yes.
3 11 are 33.
Yes.
4 11 are 44.
Yes.
5 11 are 55. 6 11 are 66. 7 11 are 77. 8 11 are 88. 9 11 are 99. 10 11 are 101.
So, my pastor often says that when you give birth to a child and when you go to hospital, you're pregnant, you're excited about the journey, and then when you have your child, you give birth to the child. Is what you give birth to that you actually go home with. And I've realized that many times that the reality of that can be amazing. I have 3 amazing kids, and then I have a son, as you saw in the previous video, that started reading at 2, as a thing for numbers, and understand as a number sense of a 9-year-old already. Trust me, it's that serious. It thinks in numbers, it sees numbers everywhere, and it's very beautiful to see, but could also be challenging. I remember that in his previous class, I was very concerned because the boy I'm talking about is 4. So imagine at 2 plus, he was already reading. At 3, he seemed to struggle a bit because it looked like he was underwhelmed. You'll be shocked that there's something like that. Like, can you imagine a child being in class and he just literally walks out of the class and takes a stroll? Like, there's nothing you guys are talking about right now that I don't know. And he literally felt like he was just underwhelmed. It took a lot of support from myself and from his teachers. And trust me, his teachers were trying. They were giving him more tasks to do. But however, and I remember discussing with a friend, I was like, oh, just moving on to the next class. And I was tempted to, because adding to the fact that he is gifted, he also is a September born. If you know what that means, if you've ever had that issue where the child is born September, so that means he's the oldest in the class, because most British schools usually have their age for each class start at September. So you must have clocked the age of that class by the end of August. So he's a September born. That means he's the oldest in every class he is. So ideally, I could just insist that, you know what, it's just move on to the next class. He already knows whatever they have to teach anyway. I'm going somewhere. However, I come to realize that despite the fact it was 3, he was reading, he was counting his timetables, he was doing so many things that I can't even remember sitting him down to teach him. He still had so many other parts of him that are not developed. There's something under the early years development that we call the PSCD, the personal, social, emotional development aspect of a child. That's when we talk about where a child learns to share, where a child learns to we also have the communication, and that's when we talk about where the child learns to share, when the child learns to regulate their own emotions. Oh my God. My 3-year-old boy had a lot of things to learn when it comes to that. He wasn't regulating his emotions. He was throwing big tantrums. Now, if I had insisted that, because he's academically good and he knows everything that she has to teach, I move him on to the next class. What's going to happen is that if he's in the next class that seems like he's doing well academically, he's going to struggle with his emotional development. And if you know a lot about child development, you will know that the emotional bit is almost more important than the academic part. So I'm sharing this story today to encourage that parent that you feel like, your child is underwhelmed in class. He knows above this. And you're tempted to say, you know what, just move on to the next class. Please don't do it. There's so many other aspects. There's a physical development. There's a fine motor skills development. There's a gross motor skills development. They have a lot of other aspects that sometimes is not as advanced as their cognitive skills that you are saying. Their cognitive skill is a part that you're seeing where they are, he already knows this, he already knows that, so what is he doing here? Now, I'm going to use myself as an example. Growing up, I think I skipped so many classes. I tell my husband, he doesn't believe it. I entered secondary school at the age of 7. Yeah. I was going to be 8 by December. However, I was doing very well up to that point academically. But the moment my parents made that decision, it was the worst decision they could have ever made. I came back, I literally said that my GS1 and GS2, I didn't know what I went to do. I was lost. I was in class with 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, people that already were emotionally developed, and I was a 7-year-old baby. So I'm saying all of this to tell you as a parent that don't be tempted to move that child ahead. Let that child go at it. There's a difference between being developed in cognitive skills and being developed emotionally. Being developed there's so many skills your child is learning in school and among their peers apart from academics. So they could be doing well and flying academically, but they also need to develop with their own peers. That's what when parent tells me, oh, the child is doing well, why do I think the child shouldn't jump class? I said, it could be doing it academically, but trust me, I had a child like that. The mother insisted she was actually, but this girl at the reception class, she was still 3. She entered the class at 3 plus going to 4, also the September-October issue. Academically, was she doing well? Oh yes, but she's going to cry every morning for hours. She's going to suck her thumb. She's going to want to sleep at 11 a.m. when the day is still fresh. And then she's working with children that are almost 5. Can you see? So at the long run, it is more to the disadvantage of the child. How do we now support as parents? As a parent, I expose him to a lot more advanced stuff. It plays a lot of calculus games. It plays things that helps him and triggers that aspect that I can see is developing very fast. And then in school also, it's just make sure it's tax. That's why when you're choosing your child's school, you make sure your child's school knows and are practicing differentiation. That means you can have 10 children working at 3-4 different levels and they're able to meet their needs where they are. So my son, for example, his tax is completely different from his classmate. When he's doing his math class, is different. For example, he's working at a nursery level class where most of them are just learning their letter sounds. While when others are learning their letter sounds, he's given a story to read and maybe answer questions. He's given sentences to complete. He's working at a level that is at his own pace and at his own level. That's why I remember that I did a video. Go back and look at that video. What are the things to look out for when you are picking your child's school? Schools should be big on differentiation. They must understand the concept of differentiation because it's important that children are met at their own level. So don't be in a rush. And as a parent also, if you have a child that is doing well, engage them in other things. Right now, I'm looking at engaging him in more sport activity, football. I'm looking at engaging him in music. He's interested in guitar. He's learning guitar, in piano. There are so many other ways to improve that aspect of your child. But do not, I beg you, do not think that means that child is emotionally and physically even developed enough. Do you know even their gross motor skill, their fine motor skills rather, the muscles of their bones, they are not developed until they are 5, fully developed until they are 5. So if you think, oh, at 3 is reading, you should move on, he's going to struggle to write most likely because those muscles are not developed. So leave your child at that class, let him grow with his age group, with his peers, because there's a physiological development that is going on. His brain, especially when it comes to his muscles, his emotions, let him grow with his peers. And now when it comes to academics, make sure you follow up with the teacher. That's what I do. Oh, they know me. His homework, I'm looking at it like, is this differentiated enough? Is this challenging enough? So your task as a parent, if you are in that position, is to make sure you are following up with your child's teacher. Is his task differentiated to meet his needs? And also, you as a parent, what are the other ways you are looking out to challenge that child? Music is an option. Extracurricular activities are good options. Children like that are good with musical instruments. Children like that are good with sports. Children like that are good with chess. They're able to calculate moves. Those are the other ways to challenge. And thank God for technology now. Your child can learn different things from the comfort of your house. Challenge that child in that intellectual aspect, but please let the child continue to grow with their peers. I hope you've learned something amazing today, and then you're going to send and share and like this video. Thank you for coming to Learning with Miss O today. See you next time. Bye.